you do spallation, you blast them into lots of different things. So that's great because for physics and for studying things, because you make a whole interesting soup of different isotopes. But for high purity and for bulk application, it's not as good. And so they decommissioned the isotope production capability at the 800 MeV beamline in the late 90s. And so there was a gap. We had no capability at Los Alamos to do production for about 6 years until it was actually the Office of Nuclear Energy built the isotope production facility. And so that came online in 2004. And so we've been running with that ever since then. And so I think when that capability went down, it became really obvious in the community that it left an unacceptable hole. And so they made the investment to bring that new facility online.
But Eva, remember, LAMP was developed as LAMP, and it was supposed to radiate people directly because of the short nuclear path.
That's true. That's true.
So it started out with a medical purpose, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And did it ever do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
You bet they did.
Yeah. Very neat.
Because they could tune it and make sure that the energy was dissipated at a specific point in the body.
So there were people actually treated over at LAMP?
Yeah.
Way cool.
Treated Japanese.
Sorry?
Were Japanese patients ever brought here? I know there were Japanese
I was gonna
doctors
say.
who worked on rock shops by working over at LAMP years ago.
I am not the right person to answer that, unfortunately.
A long time before you got here.
But yeah, but you're right. They definitely treated a fair number of patients. So
It's fascinating.
Do accelerators have a half-life? How long is this machine going to be useful to us?
So they do. They're big, complicated machines to run, and some of the original parts, you can't replace them anymore, right? And so fortunately for us, there was a decision made about 5 years ago to make a major reinvestment in Lance. And so we are in year 3 of a multi-year project to replace some of those major pieces of equipment, and that's going to really increase the reliability and extend the lifetime of Lance tremendously. So we're very glad that the laboratory is supporting that, because if you don't have an accelerator, you don't have an isotope program. So it's, they've given us, probably another couple decades of life. So it's good. Yeah.
So a couple of questions. So I remember working once with somebody who worked out there. And so how much of the time is Lance down for maintenance?
So Lance is down in the ideal schedule. They're down for 5 months, and then they're operating 7 months. And so this is why it's so important to have a partner. And so we work very closely with Brookhaven National Laboratory, and we coordinate the schedules. So when we're up and running, Brookhaven is in their major maintenance, and vice versa, so that the isotope supply is sustained throughout the year.
So also the same friend who worked there, he said he would schedule his vacation for when they planned for it to be back up. Because he knew it wasn't going to happen, and that was going to be the best time for him to go on vacation. Is that still true?
That is absolutely still true. And the best example of that I have is the 2 lovely ladies who are our shippers that have worked for the isotope program for a very long time. They scheduled their babies.
Wow! Oh my goodness.
And that was really going above and beyond the call.
Yeah.
So they literally, so one would be out, and the other one would be out. So yeah, it was just unbelievable.
That's
So we
amazing.
never missed a shipment.
Wow.
So they were not asked to do that. But people definitely feel a lot of pressure to make sure they're there and that things are running, and that we know people really rely on our products. So
Wow.
it's definitely, and when Lance is up, it's a 24/7 operation.
Yeah.
So the processing and some of our ends are not so much, we don't process through the night, but definitely the people who run the accelerator are tremendously dedicated. And if something breaks at 2 in the morning, they're called in and they fix it. And that's really important, because if we miss 8 hours of beam, that's a lot of isotope. So we really rely on that. So the isotope program is supported by many different areas of the laboratory. It's really fantastic. Yeah.
Are you, or is the isotope program selling into a worldwide market, or is it much more limited to that because of the half-life?
So most of our isotopes are shipped domestically, but we certainly ship internationally. A lot of the interest in germanium-68 comes from Europe. Europe is actually, I would say, far ahead of the United States in some of their research on applications, medical applications of isotopes. So a lot of our product goes to Europe. Not so much other areas of the world, but we certainly do fulfill, especially R&D needs from universities around the world. So we supply kind of wherever is needed.
So do you have very many students, I know a lot of places in the summer have a lot of students, because we need to see the next generation. This is not stuff that you typically, you don't take medical radioisotope production 101 at most universities.
No, you definitely do not. So students and postdocs are a really important part of our program. And for exactly the reasons you say, we take that training very seriously to help both our own program and to help other nuclear medicine programs. You can come to Los Alamos and have a really unique opportunity to learn, things you couldn't learn anywhere else, do things you couldn't do anywhere else. So we tend to focus more on postdocs just because of the hazardous nature of the work that we do. But we do have postdocs, graduate students, undergraduate students. Can't have high school co-ops in our area. but yeah, students are a very important and vital part of what we do for certain.
Your weather report is ready.
Uh-oh. I think that's a grand place to stop because that's where we're going to go on. Eva, thank you so much. So please linger longer and talk, and Eva's here, and ask her some questions.
I have some lovely little brochures if anyone wants one with more info. So thanks for all your great questions.
Everything is just, man, just like